Limit number of crossovers for each team. Limit number of times an individual can cross over. Limit crossing over level to level only. No limits on crossovers. USA needs to create a policy which event producers can enforce. Use athlete membership number to track crossovers.
The USASF take an official stand on crossovers and we go from there. Instead, they are the governing body. We're supposed to be working with them. They have not taken a position. It is a governing issue. They should have taken a position and then we can adapt to that.
Okay,
This has been voted on every single year. It's got nothing to do with USASF.
Three strikes.
You, people sitting at these tables, have voted it down every single year. So we have brought it up every single year, but this is, when it gets voted down, there's nothing we can do about it.
As a small gym owner, the only issue I have with crossovers, and it just doesn't work. You know, if we want for people to all be a part of the USASF board, you need to have the rules that they can follow. You know, I have one level 1 team, one level 2, one level 3, one level 4. And when you say I can only cross over a child from the same level, I'm done.
Okay.
One of the crossover things, and being on the rule committee for years, is there's no way to police it. So if you can't police it, how do you fix that? So in 2 years or a year and a half from now, when every kid has a roster card and a number and an ID card, and you're able, then I feel like we could bring this up again when you're able to police it and be able to put some guidelines around it. Right now, there's no way, you know, if you want to cheat, you can talk about the ethicals and all those things. Until we can figure out a way to stop it or regulate it, it doesn't make sense to have a rule in place, whether it's 5 or 10 or 20 or whatever the case may be.
Do I want to help the small gym? Do I want to see you stay in business? Do I want to see you have 10 teams next year? Yes. But I don't want to see Kathy's team go into competition, and she worked hard with those little youth 2 kids all year, and then she's at a competition, and the youth 4s are now 12 kids that beat that girl, that team. That's what I don't want to see. So we're talking to, this is why Kevin's saying, how do we police that? He stood up and said, there's an ethical issue. This is never going to change. So we have to find a way to help you, and we have to find a way to stop the madness on the crossover issue to be your team captain. Okay.
Don't police it, y'all. I'm telling you, don't police this. It is. There's a level 5 kid that's coming out of Athens, Texas. He throws a full, but he has to bump down because there's nobody else in town that does a back handspring. Okay, so she has to do that. Meanwhile, she bumped the whole 2 up just for him to throw his full at nationals. NCAA doesn't allow crossovers at nationals. That's their rule. At national events, yes, but at local events, leave it alone and let it be a event producer's thing. I don't have crossover rules at all. He may have something at Cheersport that works. My God, with 18,000 kids, I'm sure he does. NCAA allows only at this thing. Everybody's going to do it different, but once you start putting rules, it's going to hurt your small gyms because he's right. They cross over a lot to maintain teams so they don't leave to go to another gym. That's what he means.
Okay.
With the new way that the score systems are set up, where all you have to do is have majority, okay? You might have a level 3 girl that can't do a back handspring, okay? But she is the best stunting girl you have in your entire gym. She can throw 1.5 up by herself and double anything down, okay? But she just can't tumble. But now you're telling me that she's not eligible for me to use for my level 5, that I'm struggling to try to put a level 5 team together, and now I can't cross over.
No, you're saying 1. We're saying, should we limit? You can't have 10. Should we limit, put some kind of limitation? It sounds like everybody is saying,
there's no right answer.
There's no right answer.
I don't know if other people have this, I'm sure we all do. When we're at a competition, and I'm speaking for myself, but I'm saying I think this is pretty common. Because we have a lot of level 5 teams, as do many of us, the reality of it is all of those people that are on level 5 teams are not necessarily level 5 athletes. You have level 4 people thrown in there. So in turn, you're also diminishing the ability of your level 3s and under. So if a small gym can cross over their level 5 athletes to level 3s, realistically, that small gym is probably already beating us in the lower level, even though they have fewer kids, because they're having our stronger kids are on the upper level. They're not, I think we're missing the point that not all of our level 5 athletes are level 5 athletes. So when you have all those level 5 teams, you're bringing down your lower levels. So I know that some of the bigger gyms, I don't know if this happens to you, going to an event, like I may win a level 5 division, but I'm not winning level 2, level 3, and level 4. And I think allowing the small gym to do it and the large gym not to do it is further going to affect that.
But my issue is the safety of it. I hate to use my own kids, but I have an extremely talented 16-year-old child who can do 2 teams, 2 level 5 teams, and that's about all she needs to do in one day. But guys, that's where we need to be thinking, is about the safety of our kids. Those that cross over, and I understand someone think you have superhuman kids, but I'm sorry, you really don't. It's going to affect their productivity in another routine if you put them in more than 2. My issue is, and I know people shaking their heads at me, but I know this for a fact. Guys, there are very few kids. They can be in really good shape, but they don't need to do more 2 routines. I don't care where they do them, if they go over and do level 3. I mean, I don't think we can police that very well, but I think as far as safety, we need to limit the number of times that they can cross over.
I disagree, Debbie, and I feel like I can do that because I do crossover a lot. And I do it as a training mechanism, and I do it to grow my business. And it's not a competitive advantage if you trust a score sheet. You can only do so many back tucks anyway. I'm sorry. But what you said about it's not safe, the kids who get hurt in my gym are the ones who are only on one team. The people that are in the gym and working and doing 2 routines are the most in shape. And over the years of having people who are on multiple teams, it is almost never the kid that crosses over that is injured. So I feel like I can say that with years of experience. And you guys, if you believe in the score sheet, what competitive advantage is a crossover anyway, when most of us are using it like that, which is letting someone just get better, not, you can only, a back tuck's a back tuck, no matter what.
I think what Debbie is trying to say is it's not a negative thing for kids to cross over, but it's a negative thing for kids to cross over to 3, 4, 5 teams. I think that if we can somehow come up with the saying, you know, that we're trying to allow, like James said, a kid who is not going to fly on a junior team go up and fly on a senior team, as long as they're still doing that junior team, I think 2 teams is okay. I think once you start pushing these kids to 3, 4, and 5 teams, I think even the burden that you're putting on an event producer to try to make the schedule work for your teams, or the distraction that a gym creates in a warm-up room with 60 kids on a warm-up mat where a team's trying to focus and get their team ready, is where it becomes an issue. Now, I think it's the choice of the parent and the choice of the coach and gym owner as to how many teams a kid can compete on. But if you're going to sit here and tell me that my kid who just got a round-off handspring tuck 2 weeks ago, and we want to put it in so bad because she is working so hard on it, compared to a kid who throws a double full, who throws a tuck with their arms set to their ears, over the top of my head, is the same skill, it's not the same skill.
What's the most people cross over, like 3 teams?
No one not intentionally have a child ever compete on 3 teams, yes.
So for the most part, everybody competes. This is their true level, and then they're kind of helping out this level. Right. Or they're flying here and they're tumbling there. And then you might have right there a situation where a kid got hurt in level 2, you know, it's a lot easier to stick in my level 5 kid and run the routine right now, 2 seconds to get on the floor. So can we just say 3 is a good number?
From an event producer standpoint, I understand what Billy's saying as well. We deal a lot with small gyms that thrive on the fact that they're able to cross over. But as a prime example, I had a gym that had 126 crossovers. I watched a kid walk out on the floor 11 times and then pass out. That's a problem. And if we're an industry and we're a part of the USASF that is about safety and what is good for the kids, then it's got to be a consideration. And I'll tell you what, I know I'm in the grand scheme of event producers in the medium line, and I know that it's going to hurt my business a little bit. But I think, again, we all have to take a step back, and I'm willing on behalf of our company to take a step back and say, what is safe for the child? What is the ultimate safety?